This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Glazed and Confused by Abigail Rose. Chapter 1. The smell of cinnamon and fried dough swirled around Emma as she slapped a glaze-covered donut onto the counter with the kind of aggression reserved for bad landlords and ex-boyfriends. Unfortunately, her latest annoyance was the former. The morning rush at Glazed and Confused was a chaotic symphony of espresso machines hissing, customers chattering, and Emma swearing under her breath as she tried to keep up. She was running on 4 hours of sleep, 3 cups of coffee, and one deeply ingrained grudge against her landlord. If adrenaline weren't enough to keep her upright, sheer indignation was doing the trick. Her best friend, Lily, was manning the espresso machine with her usual exuberance, moving with the precision of a barista in the middle of a speed competition. Her bright pink hair, tied into twin buns that somehow remained perfectly perky, bounced as she steamed milk and sprinkled cinnamon with unnecessary flair. "You know," Lily said, sliding a latte across the counter with the grace of someone used to multitasking under pressure, "most people just pay their rent. They don't get into battles of passive-aggressive notes with their landlord." Emma snorted, grabbing a fresh tray of donuts from the prep table. "Most landlords don't send cryptic messages about wanting to discuss my essence. What does that even mean? Discuss it how? Over tea? In a dark alley?" Lily chuckled, her hands a blur as she poured another espresso shot. "Maybe he's a vampire. Essence definitely sounds like vampire talk. You should ask him if garlic bread is a deal breaker." Emma rolled her eyes as she started ringing up the next customer, a mom who was half wrangling 2 squirmy toddlers while attempting to find exact change. "If he is, I hope he chokes on garlic bread." The customer looked up sharply, curiosity flickering in her exhausted eyes. "Wait, vampires choke on garlic bread?" Emma shrugged, handing over the bagged donuts with a wink. "It's a theory. Want a cinnamon roll to go with your coffee? I promise it's garlic-free." "Emma," Lily chided, her voice low but tinged with laughter, "you can't flirt and scare the customers at the same time. Pick a lane." Emma waved her off, turning her focus to a tray of freshly glazed donuts. She set them on the counter with the kind of flourish that suggested she'd had enough of humanity for one morning. $20, she told the next customer, glaring at them like they personally ruined her day. "And don't even think about asking if we have oat milk." The customer, a college student with a laptop bag slung over their shoulder, froze mid-sentence, then muttered, "Oh, okay." They fumbled with their wallet, paid, and left so quickly they nearly tripped over the rug by the door. Lily watched them leave, shaking her head. "You're going to scare off all your customers, Emma." "Good," Emma replied, wiping her hands on a towel and tossing it onto the counter with dramatic flair. "Let them run. Maybe they'll trip and fall into the dumpster where my landlord's rent notice belongs." The door jingled open, and Emma didn't bother looking up until she felt the air shift. It wasn't just the cold blast from outside. It was something else entirely, something intangible that made her pause mid-sentence. The hairs on the back of her neck prickled, as if the atmosphere had suddenly decided to hold its breath. Slowly, she turned her head and saw him. At first, her brain refused to compute what she was looking at. Tall. Is he standing on something tall? His sharp cheekbones looked like they'd been carved from marble, and his jet-black hair gleamed under the fluorescent lights in a way that mocked her own messy ponytail. He looked both immaculately groomed and utterly out of place in her cozy, slightly chaotic shop. His eyes were the kind of dark that didn't just see you. It looked straight through you, leaving you with the unsettling feeling that he knew every embarrassing thing you'd ever done. his suit.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.